like that. So this is the story, the documentary we put together of all the critters we found in the bay. And what is really cool is you can see that one of our critters, I'll have to tell you a story about it when it's done. In this movie, we have a bit of an OCD octopus, and I'll explain after we watch the movie.
OCD octopus.
Do you guys want closed captioning? Regular, do you need closed captioning? You're good?
I would like closed captioning.
Closed captioning? Yeah, let's do it. That way you can see when they're talking about some of these creatures, you're like, that's how.
Wow.
And don't fall asleep through the sea pen. You might.
Over 100 years ago, legend has it, a flat-bottomed steamer ship crossed this sandy peninsula and safely entered these waters. The ship brought much-needed supplies to build a town, causing an excited group of pioneers to explain. This ship has discovered a new port, and the name stuck. Welcome to Newport, our bay. Newport Harbor is a residential area with a sheltered bay for thousands of watercrafts. Over 2 miles wide, this part of the bay enriches our lives and
mình đi cái này rồi nè.
allows us to slip away and experience the ocean. Enjoyed by so many, it's easy to understand why people value this waterway. But what lies beneath the surface of its calm, murky waters? Connected to Newport Harbor is an area known as Upper Newport Bay, or the Back Bay. And to reach it by water, one must travel under the famous Pacific Coast Highway. Shorelines along the Back Bay were protected from development, preserving the natural salt marsh, rich in native plants, wildlife, and shoreline trails. Together, the entire bay forms a body of water, which connects a community of homes, provides recreation, and serves as a place where nature can live with safe refuge.
Oh.
With gravitational pull from the moon, twice a day, the entire bay is flushed by tides. During incoming tides, clean ocean water covers many of the marsh plants. When the tide goes out, the receding water flushes out organic materials and floating debris. Along California's coast, the ocean connects us all. Many of the bay creatures originally come from coastal waters, and their offspring float into the bay as larvae with the tides. The Garibaldi is an ocean creature we've all come to know and love. Garibaldi is the state marine fish and can be found along rocky reefs. They don't wander too far, spending their
Cá Tử Ban á hả?
time within their own neighborhoods
Wow.
of the giant kelp. During some years, the kelp is clearly visible from the shoreline. Large rafts of kelp stretch across the surface for miles, and it thrives. In other years, the kelp doesn't grow to the surface at all, but underwater, this rocky reef habitat provides nutrition and homes for diverse organisms. If kelp is an underwater forest, then eelgrass must be the meadow. Eelgrass grows near the bay's shoreline and out to about 15 feet deep. The giant sea hare, a type of marine snail without a shell, cruises along, feeding on red algae that grows or loosely drifts by at the base of the eelgrass. The blades and roots of this marine plant help to stop the mud and silt from shifting, stabilizing the sediment during heavy rain and improving water quality. Spiny lobster like to eat sea urchins, mussels, and clams. They will also feed on red algae. Lobsters, in turn, are hunted by many types of sea creatures and by people. Similar to sport fish, lobster have a minimum size limit, and they also have a season for hunting. As it waits for prey to swim overhead, the camouflage of the diamond turbot helps it blend into the bottom. While just inshore of this sheltered bay, hundreds of sand dollars turn on their sides and feed.
Laguna.
Sea anemone are sometimes called the flowers of the sea. But unlike flowers, these creatures are hungry predators. More than 1,000 species of anemone live in the world, and our bay has several types. Sometimes they attach themselves amongst other filter feeders, like mussels or sponge. This specimen has burrowed into the sand and patiently waits for food, while others stand tall, hoping to catch a meal that drifts by. The current is just right to watch this tube anemone feed on microscopic food. Our bay contains a great mixture of tiny, nutritious animals and the immature stages of larger animals, called zooplankton. Delicious. There are many spots in the bay where there is nothing but sand or mud, but even here, you can find life. Some creatures, like clams, worms, or shrimp, can burrow under the sand and create tunnels. Sea hens have colonized a large area near the mouth of the bay.
Wow.
They cast a vertical net, positioning themselves within favorable paths of current, thereby ensuring a fresh supply of plankton. In fact, our bay is full of filter feeders and slow-moving predators. California mussels colonize rocky shorelines or along some segments of the bottom, filtering the water for nutrients day and night. Sponges are also filter feeders and are considered some of the most primitive animals on our planet. In our bay, they come in a variety of colors, shapes, and sizes. An animal that resembles a sponge is the dory, another slow-moving sea slug. Wetlands are home for the California horned snail. They don't appear to be moving, but ever so slightly, they're finding microscopic food along the shoreline. Some of the snails in our bay are predators, while others scavenge for dead or dying organisms. Other larger snails, like the Kellett's whelk, appear as if they are racing towards a finish line. Go, little snail, go! During winter, they come together and lay eggs in a common area. These snail eggs and eggs from the dory will hatch and enter the water column as free swimming larvae. Some will drift off to become snails or sea slugs, while others will be eaten by any number of hungry creatures. Even a sea slug sometimes sleeps, but don't be fooled. The Nabanax is a fierce predator. As they move forward, they're hunting for sea slugs, snails, anemone, and even small fish. During cooler winter months, Nabanax can create offspring all by themselves or be found mating in small groups. After several weeks, their eggs hatch and become a part of the planktonic food web. Newport Harbor boasts a ferry for cars and people, a quaint reminder of simpler times when the bay was not as busy as it is now. Some of our bay islands are man-made by dredging the bottom and filling in the shoreline with sand. At one time, the entire bay was covered with native plants. Pickleweed and other salt-tolerant plants are important because they help to create an ecosystem for wetland and salt marsh creatures. In California, much of our wetland habitat has been developed, but the upper bay was set aside as an ecological nature preserve. Some portions are only open to wildlife. During low tides, lots of feeding goes on along the shorelines, but shorebirds aren't the only ones that are hungry. Striped mullet like to feed on algae, plankton, and plant material. Now and then they can be seen jumping clear out of the water. Civilization and nature must coexist. We do our best, but rain events funnel debris, which eventually leads into the bay. Much of the trash floats along the surface and can be picked up with a lot of effort by volunteers in kayaks or people walking along the shoreline. Other types of trash sink to the bottom, and for the most part, is never to be seen again. Trash in the bay is a problem that people can help to solve, but for one remarkable resident, trash has become a part of its home. Looking at this underwater scene within the upper bay, the observer might not think anything of this plastic debris and gathering of shells. However, this setting is the den for a very special creature known as the California two-spot octopus. The octopus might be better at reusing plastic than most of us humans by using this material to build its home. But under closer inspection, we discover they don't like to do their dishes. Each of these shells represents a meal. Our octopus brought each of these scallops back to its den to eat, and then used the shells to decorate its front yard. The entire bay is a resource to be cherished. Our Newport Bay is beautiful, but we must all remember that it's also a wildlife habitat. Become an OC Parks volunteer. Connect with the Newport Bay Conservancy and help to keep our bay clean. Most of us will never go underwater and explore our bay, but it's nice to know that all this wildlife is down there and will remain if we respect the watershed. After all, these calm, murky waters are ours, in our own backyard, in a place we call Newport, our bay.